Good morning, everyone. It's been 2 months since I came here, and some of you may have been wondering how I have been doing so far. I'm doing well, learning how to do things, and I feel a lot more settled down. Rev.ZiYoung has been my guinea pig for the dishes I cook. Cooking is not my strong suit, but I try every day. One day I asked Rev.ZiYoung, "It's still better than C grade, isn't it?" And she said, "Yeah, maybe B minus, the lowest she could give above C. But still, I guess I'm getting there." Today, I'd like to share some episodes that happened during these past 2 months with regard to today's topic, Timeless Sun, Placeless Sun. Timeless Sun, Placeless Sun is one of the mottos of Won Buddhism. For those of you who may not be familiar with the term sun, sun is a Korean word for Zen, which is often translated as meditation in English. When you Google meditation, 95% look like this, the sit-in meditation posture. That reflects how much we naturally associate meditation with sit-in meditation. Although sit-in meditation is an important training subject for cultivating the spirit, the gist of Won Buddhist practice is timeless sun, timeless meditation. Then what does timeless sun mean? What would it be like to practice timeless sun? In chapter 7, the Dharma of timeless sun, in the principal book of Won Buddhism, it says, "As a rule, sun is a practice that leads to the achievement of freedom of mind through gaining awakening to one's own nature, which is originally free from discrimination or attachment." If people intend to practice genuine sun, they first should take true voidness as the substance and marvelous existence as the function, and externally be unmoving like Mount Tai when in contact with myriad sensory conditions, and internally keep the mind unsullied like empty space. If we do so, then there will be no discrimination that is separate from absorption, so that the functioning of the six sense organs will accord with the self-nature of the void and calm, luminous awareness. Here, absorption means the state of being absorbed in one's own nature, which is originally free from discrimination or attachment, thereby being undisturbed by sensory conditions. Even when involved in disturbing situations, the mind is undisturbed. Even when involved with greed-creating sensory conditions, the mind is unmoving. That is absorption. So, from the passage, we can tell that sun is not just sit-in meditation, but is a practice of being united with our own self-nature, which is the substance and nature of Il-One, and which is expressed as true voidness and marvelous existence, or the void and calm, luminous awareness. And timeless sun means doing so at all times, in all situations. But how? how could we be united with our own nature at all times in real life? The last sentence in chapter 7 clearly states the main principle of timeless Sun. When the six sense organs are free from activity, remove distracted thoughts and nurture the one mind. When the six sense organs are involved in activity, remove the wrong and nurture the right. Removing distracted thoughts and nurturing the one mind when you are free from activity is a practice that we all are familiar with. When you're alone or free from work, for example, meditating or taking a walk by yourself, the only thing we need to do is to remove distracted thoughts. That is the practice of nurturing the one mind, because when your mind is free from distracted thoughts, that is, in fact, the one mind. However, what does it mean to remove the wrong and nurture the right when you are involved in activity? And how can we practice it? Being involved in activity here means doing something with someone else or trying to carry out a task. The third head Dharma master Taesan, in his Dharma instruction about timeless Sun, placeless Sun, provided a very tangible how-to of timeless Sun. The threefold study, namely cultivating the spirit, inquiry into human affairs and universal principles, and choice in action, is developed based on and in accordance with our original nature of voidness, completeness, and rightness. The threefold study is designed as the gateway through which we can be united with our own self-nature. So, timeless Sun, which is the practice of trying to be united with our own self-nature at all times, is, in other words, simultaneously practicing the threefold study in every moment. And Master Taesan simplified the how-to of timeless Sun as follows. The power of absorption. Stop the mind's functioning until you attain the power of absorption. The power of wisdom. Hone your thoughts until you attain the power of wisdom. The power of choice. Choose the right and forsake the wrong until you attain the power of choice. And here is how I try to put these into practice. I needed to get my driver's license, so I looked up on the NCDMV website what documents I should bring and tried to make an appointment. Because of the COVID situation, not many spots were open, and the earliest slot I could find was in about 2 weeks at a driver's license office about 10 miles away. So I waited for 2 weeks. Today is the day you are finally getting your NC driver's license, Rev.ZiYoung Kang said. I brought the documents and drove 10 miles. And I waited in a line. And finally, it was my turn. The officer checked my document and said, I had to bring a document providing liability insurance coverage. And she seemed really annoyed, and I felt embarrassed. I thought, that was not listed on that webpage. Even if it is somewhere else on the website, shouldn't it be on the same web page as the other required documents? So frustrating. I'm so tired of these administrative problems. I drove 10 miles to come here. Waste of gas, waste of time. I noticed this train of thought, and thankfully, this one line from the Dharma of Timeless Sun came to my mind. An opportunity for practice has arrived. I stopped my mind's functioning, stopped the train of thinking, and checked whether or not I was being affected by the sensory condition. The disturbance that arose gradually disappeared, and my mind wasn't moving or stirred anymore. And with a clear and calm state of mind, I tried to hone my thoughts. What would be the best choice I could make now? I thought I would email NCDMV about this so that no one else would experience that same frustration. And I shared this experience with Rev.ZiYoung, saying, what an opportunity to practice. I think I was a little proud of myself. As always, with a big smile on her face, she said, it'd be a great story to share in my next Dharma talk. It seems like the end of the story, but it's not. To write an email, I came back to my room and pulled up the webpage that lists the required documents. And there, I found a line that says, one document providing liability insurance coverage from a provider licensed to do business in North Carolina. I wasn't very careful when I read it. I remembered thinking, to do business, not me, and crossing out the item in my mind. I totally misread it. That's what had happened. When I realized that, I just wanted to crawl into a hole. With so much confidence, I had said, I'll email them. This should be fixed. But I was wrong. I was even more embarrassed. At that moment, the same line came to my mind, a little quicker this time. An opportunity for practice has arrived. I stopped my mind's functioning, stopped the inner speech saying something like, how embarrassing. What would Reverend Wonggong or other people think if they knew? It was when I stopped. I could see the conception of self, the ego, underneath those thoughts. The conception of self is just an idea created by the mind. At that moment of awareness, the mind was just like the empty sky. It was just void and calm, luminous awareness. There was just this awareness and nothing else. No self, no embarrassment. And I thought about the power of stopping. Why, among many other things, did Master Daesan said to stop the mind's functioning to attain the power of absorption? I wouldn't have been able to restore the original nature if I had not stopped. I would have continued to be caught up in those thoughts, embarrassment, on and on. Imagining the boundless sufferings that the one conception of self could bring. Embarrassment may be an easy one. I thought how fortunate we all are to have this Dharma. With the empty space like mind, I thought, what would be the best choice I could make now? I thought I should tell Rev.ZiYoung that it was my mistake. The information was on the webpage. I didn't want to cause harm by spreading misinformation and deepening distrust in the DMV. Lastly, the power of choice. I put my thought into practice. I told Rev.ZiYoung that it was me who misread it. These sensory conditions were not really difficult ones, and you and many others may be facing much more challenging adverse sensory conditions. Nevertheless, all those moments are opportunities for us to practice, therefore opportunities for change. The founding master Sotaesan's emphasis on timeless sun was one of his many efforts to reform traditional Buddhism, which in some cases overly emphasized sit-in meditation or practices at rest. Timeless sun is what anyone can practice in each and every moment in their lives. Thinking about how much change this practice can bring to people's lives and to the world makes me feel so hopeful and happy. That is why I'm here. I am grateful to walk on this path with all of you. Thank you.